Sometimes you'll find a system that will tell the president, Mr. President, this one you cannot do it because it's not for the interests of the Kenyan nation. And it happens.
Right.
So that is what we expect to see going forward. They will respect the independence of institutions. They will respect the interests of the country.
All right.
Oh, wow, there we have it.
Okay,
Yes.
we do apologize for cutting you short, but there you have it.
Ruto
Indeed.
and Rachel Ruto making their way out of their residence, headed to Kasarani when the gentleman enters that vehicle. Zainab
Indeed.
Ismail was saying, he says goodbye to the DP's official residence and hello State House.
And clad in a yellow tie, of course, symbolic of the same color that
blue shirt,
he
yellow
used
tie.
in his campaign, of course, and accompanied by the incoming First Lady Rachel Ruto, making their way out of the official residence in Karen, and perhaps we'll be taking a couple of pictures there. No, just waiting for the car.
Vehicle.
The vehicle will be arriving. We can see a vehicle there, so perhaps they will be entering that vehicle in a short while. We saw the first family had already left, and there you have it. Okay, so we have cut to where the Deputy President-elect Rigathi Gachagua is. This is along Thika Road, I believe. I can see the rails there, so that's Thika Road. Perhaps a couple of minutes now to Kasarani Stadium, signifying, very close to that final, inauguration rites there. We're gonna be seeing in just a couple of minutes. Oliver.
Right. Yeah. Very, exciting moments for the country.
Right.
And we were talking about the national security machinery, or what we'd call the defense and security, national security architecture of the country. It is cut out in the Constitution. Some offices, quite a number of those offices have a security of tenure of the officers who occupy them and so on.
Which one?
There will be terms for...
No.
I was saying, for example...
Security of tenure they don't have.
Yeah, but what I was saying, in terms of internal organizational procedures, so if you have a CDF, for example, you remember the tradition that was set by General Tonje, and those kinds of things. So they are not
But
things...
Daktari, what is important in a national political setup is security of tenure.
That's
if you don't have,
those
internal mechanisms will not stop the president from sacking you or
Right.
relieving you.
Yeah, but the point
That's what I was saying.
There's no constitutional protection
Nothing.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Right.
But
But-
doesn't the military have its own way of doing it?
No.
Yeah, but
There's a procedure like what he's saying. Let me just say, Kidogo Daktari. They have processes and procedures they have internally. 4 years as the CDF, or 62 years or 64 years, whichever comes first. Those are administrative procedures that do not bind the head of state.
Right.
What we are talking about is security of tenure, where the head of state cannot wake up in the morning and tell you go home. They don't have.
judges, huh?
Yes, like the judges.
Like the IBC chairperson.
Yes, like the IBC.
Like
Those are now the things that security organs don't have.
Okay, so but as much as it is true that could be, of course, when now is the head of state, again, like he was saying, there are issues or matters that are of national interest.
That is
and systems
Yes,
don't.
that motorcade
That's right.
is indeed
That's right.
William Ruto's.
That's right. And systems don't change radically.
Yeah.
So what you do, you don't shock a system. You have to wean it out. And that's what I'm trying to say.
So essentially you're telling us not to expect sweeping change.
No, not immediate in a way that can, because again it can be counterproductive, is a good way to create continuity and change that is positive. So you'd find, and that is something that the head of state himself said when he was giving his acceptance speech. He said that nobody will be victimized, nobody should feel, that kind of thing. Because you don't want again to spoil the picture of the people who will be serving you. They are only civil servants. There's something we call AGIP. Any government in power. That is how people in the security sector, people who in high matters of statecraft look at things. Any government that comes, you serve. If the president, with his own discretion, like he's saying, changes chiefs and that kind of thing, so be it. Everyone falls in place. But the idea is that normally it takes moderation, it takes foresight, it takes tolerance in order to wean out. You don't just, you know, just shock a system. No, you don't do that. Because again, it can be counterproductive to the national interest again, which is the bigger picture that we are protecting. President William Ruto wants to take everyone on board and push the country forward in a nice way.
Let me share that with experience and our training. Although I left that place many years ago.
Okay.
Our training is very simple. You serve the sitting government.
Yes.
Now, serving the sitting government means whether changes are done today or tomorrow, your job must be done.
Must be done.
So yes, I agree with him about shaking the systems, but trust me, even if they removed 10 today, the military will still function because it has systems in place that churn it around. The police is the same. The only thing he's speaking about is by consideration for the fact that when you shake it too much, people will not have issues because they know you have the power to do it and they know you want your own people. It's a tradition. But yes, I know slowly he'll be removing one. Trust me, at the end of the day, he'll work with the people he wants to work with.
That's true.
It's not about the system. But the procedure, the time frame will differ. But at the end of the day, every president all over the world, every prime minister all over the world,
team of people.
They always come in with a preferred team. They slowly remove what they, not because they don't like them, but because they want to have people they trust. Number two, even as he says, there are times where commanders build personal relationships with the leaders of these organizations. You get my point? So you find a CDF or the Inspector General or the head of NIS have built very strong personal relationship with the heads of state. Now, if the incoming president feels that my continued working with this person will not give me what I want to have, they can remove them even tomorrow. But I agree with you, shaking it means removing too many people. But removing one or two, I can assure you it can happen.
Oh, yeah?
It can happen.
Yeah.
And that is what politics is all about.
It's all about. Yeah, I think it takes a lot of tact to manage the affairs of a country and high matters of statecraft. And that's what I'm trying to underscore here.
Okay.
He really has to come out as a leader, as a father of the nation, a symbol of national unity, and a guarantor of the constitution and rule of law. Because he has also said that some people, perhaps, from in his own feeling that some people may have been victimized and so on, he wouldn't want to do the same to others or such kind of thing, or to come up with a kind of purge kind of outlook, but a way that is to create stability and continuity, especially within the core organs of national security, defense, and diplomacy and that
and
kind
how
of
important is that continuity? I mean, when I talked about President Uhuru Kenyatta shifting the security architecture, when you talked about the changes that were made to the law in 2014, removing security of tenure. I remember the provisions for one of the two assistant IGs being female, and that was also done away with, so such that the quote-unquote best man for the job, pun intended, ascends to that office. But what is it risky to make certain changes at this point, given when they assumed office in 2013, a couple of months in September 2013, we had the Westgate attack? How important is continuity, even as he looks to install people who he feels comfortable with?
From experience, and this is what I want to speak from experience. In the military, because I don't know the police, but it's the same as discipline. In the military, you're always trained. If you're a captain, you're supposed to serve 2 levels down, 2 levels up. So if a major dies today and I'm with that major, I should be able to do the job. If a lieutenant colonel dies today, I should be able to do the work of a lieutenant colonel. So in the military, apart from the optics that might not look good in terms of purging and removing immediately, I don't think the system cannot withstand any changes that are brought in place, because everybody you see in that office with the senior rank has the capacity to serve any position. There are 3 levels we have in the military. We have the General Officers Corps, that is a full colonel and above. That means that officer can serve any position up to the CDF, because the training makes them be ready